Welcome to our 11th video on Dr. Kanayal Raina Inc. Our main aim is bridging the gap between the academia and the industry and also developing world-class manufacturing companies all over the world. Dr. Kanayal Raina is a privately held company registered in Canada and operating from Canada, USA, Jordan, India, Australia, and other countries. And EMZ is an award-winning best practice company in the business of learning and performance improvement. The EMZ received the highest award from the University of Toronto for its teaching methods. EMZ is headed by Margaret Zimmerman. She is the chief executive, and I am the international president for marketing the EMZ products globally. Kanayal Raina Inc. has got a board of directors, and our Dr. Sanat Kool is one of the director advisor, Professor Dr. Bikram Lamba, Professor Dr. Abdul Ali, who looks after the Middle East operations, Professor Dr. Mahesh Diwan, and Professor Bibidar, who look after the India operations. We are a global community of advisors, transformational associates, operating in about 45 countries, partnering to help to achieve best in class. We started our operations in India in 1980, and we started certain projects, mostly turnkey green projects, and developed plastic molded cabinets for TV and electronic parts, audio and video tapes, and also deflection yokes. And we were also the consultants to Escorts, Eicher, Ford, Nova, and Dempo Group. We also set up about 5 electronic units and training centers for the government of Uganda, awarded and received the best, highest export award from the President of India. We set up our offices in Hong Kong, Taiwan, South Korea, and Singapore in 1987 and operated there up to 1992. In 2001, EMZ started its research on developing and training programs for finding out the best way of how to teach and how to make a person retain whatever he has taught, whatever he has learned. In 2004, they developed the first version of learning technology, and in 2005, this was registered under the name of Momentum. And in 2009, we received the highest award from the University of Toronto for the program which was developed for Sunnybrook Hospital in Canada. And now we are operating in about 9 universities in USA, and more than 45,000 students have so far operated upon this Momentum software. In 2006, we started developing software for operations management as a specific software tool. And in 2009, we developed diagnostic toolkits. And in 2011, we launched our first class training programs, and about 150 class training programs were developed. And we expanded to over 45 countries during the last few years. Most of the corporate clients of EMZ have been Fortune 500 companies, and we have more than 8 universities who are using Momentum as a syllabus course. In India, we have operation which is headed by Saloni Kaur. She has been working with the Minda and New Gen, and also working with the Trend Micro, Dr. Morpin, and besides some other well-known companies in India. And our main aim is that the students must learn and retain whatever they have learned. Students often graduate without tangible job skills. That is our survey that has been carried out in most of the places in USA. And we find it is time to tackle youth employment and impart skills in them through imparting skills and personality development under our industry integrated program with the right tools, programs, and training. And for this, you need to change the mindset. The changing of the mindset, which is critical to the future success in reaching goals. We depend mostly on Bhagavad Gita and on the Gurukul technology, which was adopted long time back in India. we found that in Bhagavad Gita it is said that senses control the matter, and the mind controls the senses, and the intellect controls the mind, and the soul controls the intellect. Now, mind is such a instrument within our system which is invisible, that controls mostly the senses, and it is being controlled by the intellect, but mind overpowers the intellect. So this, how to change this mind, how to set this mind, is basically the way this program has been developed. It has been observed, or rather surveyed, that 5% is the maximum retention power when you learn, when you hear a lecture, whereas if you read something, about 10% is the retention power. And whereas if you see the same program as an audiovisual, is a 20% retention program. And if you demonstrate the same thing in a workshop, there is a 30% retention power. And whereas if the same thing is discussed in a group as a discussion, there is a 50% retention power. And whereas if you practice, that means do a little physical exercise, do a little practical on the same element, on the same subject, then the retention power is 75%. But what we worked on this momentum and our program, that gives you a retention power of 95%. How that is done, we'll be discussing this later. We started working on neuroscience, which shows there is three angles of the brain. One is a learning, one is a retention, and another is the delivery part. Now, the learning, retention, and delivery part must go together and deliver whatever you have learned. But it doesn't happen. You learn, you don't retain much, and you don't deliver much. This is what is happening, and this has been proved beyond doubt that this retention power must be changed in such a way that people can retain maximum and they can deliver the maximum. So the gateway to change this method is through thinking, through feeling, and through decision making. Now, thinking is a process again within the mind. Feeling is again a process within the mind, and decision making is also a process within the mind. So, behind the mind, has to be some change, and that change is very important. How that change can work it out, we start believing on something, and then we discuss this. When we put questions, we put a value to that belief, and then when we further question and we find a new evidence coming in front of us, we find that value can be further changed. That means what we are trying to do is making a state of mind change, and that is what we find in Bhagavad Gita, or we find in Gurukul, that this mind change has been the focus in the earlier times. They were not having that time the big universities that we are having today. They were all retaining certain, whatever they were learning, it was all through oral, through demonstration, and through physical effect. As I said earlier, that 50% can be retained if you do something physically, and 75% can be retained if you demonstrate it. So those were the ideas which we have taken into in this developing this technology, in this developing this program. The key to learning is what we believe, that you must do something very consistently, and then same thing you must do repeat frequently, and same thing then you must become the master. So consistency, frequency, and mastery is the key word in our program. Unless you understand and consistently work on that under a coach, what we call in Gurukul as a guru, here we have got a coach who makes you to understand the correct path, how to learn and how to retain. And the same thing in Gurukul, you have been learning how to learn from the guru who was giving you he was imparting the training to you, or he was giving you the lessons of a certain subject on a certain subject. So same consistency and the same thing which is turned into the frequency, and if it is frequently turned like practice makes a perfect person, Same thing is here, what we call is as a perfect practice makes a perfect man, because perfect practice is very important under a coach or under a guru, and he must be learned, he must be knowledgeable, and you must learn the things from him, and or you must learn that item which is the correct way of learning it. That can be through other means also. So once you go into the stage of mastery, we find that you are in a flow. That means you don't have much of anxiety or risk to see that you can do the job or you will not do the job, or you don't feel a boredom or a monotony of not doing that job. So when you are in a flow state, that is the mind is in a flow state, it's a free state, you find that you can achieve the best of the results, and the power of retention is possible to a maximum level. We have tried to survey a lot of universities in USA, and we studied about 15 universities, the top 15. Out of them, we selected about 10 universities, and we found that what they are teaching and how they are teaching. So method of their teaching was not something different from the method of teaching which is done in other universities. But what they were doing was they had a reputation. That reputation was playing a greater part in their status. Whereas in other places, although they were doing wonderfully well, but they were not having the best that reputation, which happened that they could not get, their people were not getting employed as fast as these 10 other universities were doing. So we understood from our survey that there is a difference between the teaching and the delivery point of it. So what we thought that let us see that what are the subjects these 10 universities are teaching, and we found that there were 9 methods, 9 subjects which they were teaching, and the important of them were, this was basically in the MBA course, that they were teaching marketing, they were teaching ethics, they were teaching accounting, organizational behavior, quantitative analysis, finance, operations, economics, and strategy. These 9 disciplines were the main topic, and which we wanted to see how we can work it out and bring this in front of you, and that we have brought in front of you by means of lessons, by means of various workshops, by means of online courses, by means of tools which we have developed on different subjects, which give a supportive angle to all that which is being taught in these 10 best universities in the world. So what we found that if you have a proper quantitative software analysis tools and systems and workshop programs and game-based interactive technology available in front of you, you can do what they have been doing there. Although they don't have this interactive game-based technology still available, we are the only person today in the globe who are having this technology. But nonetheless, as I said, it is the reputation of those universities which brings the which are helpful to the people to getting the jobs. Whereas in other places, we find that if they can adopt the methodology and the technology what we have done, they will have the same results. So what we are covering here basically these 9 subjects, but what we are looking for that how we can cover this business into an excellence. So that is, we have seen there are 5 perspectives which are essential for this. Number one perspective is the stakeholder. Number second is the financial. Then is the customer. Then is the operation, and then is the learning and the growth. Now these 5, if they are integrated together, they make a perfect combination. What we found that there are no world-class manufacturing companies without performance management in place. So what we are doing, we are producing certain assessment tools. We are producing uh, certain analytical tools. We have got certain diagnostic tools. We have got certain programs, workshop programs, as we said earlier, and those are the tools which we are using in our classes, which we are using to improve the quality of the delivery of the lecture, as well as the quality of bringing the company as a best manufacturing company, as a world class manufacturing company. These assessment tools have been used by about 3,600 organizations worldwide. So we have got at present about 36 ready-to-use diagnostic business tools. Then we have got more than 200 ready-to-use key performance indicators, and those are basically meant for consultancy assignments. We do the consultancy, and we use this more than 200 ready-to-use key performance indicators for consultancy assignments. Then we have got 18 ready-to-use financial analytical tools, and then that is for the financial management. And then we have got for the marketing tools, we have got about 12 ready-to-use marketing and sales tools. Then we have got operation management managers tools, which are 26 ready-to-use operation manager tools. Then, as I said earlier, that we have got training tools, that's about 150 ready-to-use classroom and workshop training tools. Then on the top of this, we have got 100 ready-to-use business templates for consultancy purposes. Then we have online courses, which are 55 number online courses, and those are basically executive development courses. All these things help you to do a perfect performance management system. Now, these tools help you in business solutions. That means the financial objectives, the business process, the customer objectives, the learning and growth objectives are combined together, integrated together to put up a to see that what the organization can deliver in a proper manner. So there may be a shareholder value. He may be thinking that I need a financial revenue growth. The customer may be thinking that we need, from the customer's point of view, that we need a better service. In the processes, we may be thinking the customer marketing and services and the lean programs can give a better process. So all these things are being together tied up, and a proper 100% global world-class organization is prepared through these systems, through these tools. So we have developed a lot of elements, a lot of key tools are there. The types of tools which are developed, like activity-based costing, like economic value added, like forecasting, benchmarking, market research, and best practices, Six Sigma, and statistical process control. Then re-engineering the ISO 9000 systems, then total quality management, and then empowerment, learning organizations, self-directed work teams, and change management. These are some of the tools which are used in our technology. Then we have also business tools, which are we call it the 20 key organizational tools, which are used to develop an organization, revolutionize an organization. And these are the best tools available today from our bouquet. Then we have got system tools also, which work in a different fashion, and act, plan, do, and check, and then in that what is to be done and how those system tools can be worked and how they can be joined together. Then we got integrated, highly successful use of tools in different categories, as we said, in the financial, in the customer, in the operations, in the learning, and in the growth process. So those are the type of tools. They are being integrated and translating strategy into operational terms. So we feel that these tools can help you in making clear roles and responsibilities in managing initiatives and industries. And there is a process which is involved in developing learning skills, internal, financial, so that at the end a particular thing is delivered properly to the customer. So integrating of these tools is one of the highlights of our system. Then we have got strategy models also. We work on tools which determine what to measure and how to measure, what to measure, and we have developed a lot of templates which help you to which help you to record the data on a pattern which is useful for the template, which is useful for the software to make use of it. Then we know what is the importance of a framework which integrates the strategy to objectives and how those are measures. And we have the diagnostic tools which questions and which give you the answer for aligning those facts. And then we have got finally the momentum, which is the game-based learning, which is a win-win objective, that how you can succeed in business and how you can succeed in learning and retaining. So these are the serious questions which we will be putting forward when we have classes for each and every subject matter. And let us understand that this is how the things can work for you and what we have learned and how things can work better for you.